In 2016, Christians represented 73.7% of the total population. In 2019, only 65% identified as Christians. In response to what is seen as an increase in immorality, secularism, and humanism, the religious right, formerly known as the moral majority, has made significant advances towards establishing what can only be described as an American theocracy. President Trump has established the precedents within his administration that he not only intends to strengthen but empower the religious right.
Well, I think what the American people have learned in the last 15 months is that people of faith all across this nation have a champion in President Donald Trump. A year ago, he said we were a nation of faith, and he took action last year to make sure that the federal government never imposed on the religious liberty of Americans.
Under my administration, free speech does not end at the steps of a cathedral or a synagogue or any other house of worship. We are giving our churches their voices back. We are giving them back in the highest form.
Get rid of and totally destroy the Johnson Amendment and allow our representatives of faith to speak freely and without fear of retribution. I will do that. Remember,
the Lord and Donald Trump, we can talk about these things in church on Sunday morning.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And I can say to you, vote red. I can say that to you without any fear that the IRS is going to take away your right to donate to this church and deduct it from your taxes.
With the endorsement of the religious right, President Trump continues to erode what is referred to as a wall of separation between church and state. Many within this movement are emboldened by the fact that, contrary to popular belief, the words separation of church and state are not stated within the Constitution.
Donald Trump says that his policies are rooted in the Christian scriptures. He also says that church and state can't be separated regardless of what is written in the U.S. Constitution.
Well, first of all, there is no separation clause. It doesn't appear anywhere in the Constitution. There's no such thing as a separation of church and state in the Constitution. What the First Amendment says is Congress shall make no law regarding the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof.
Separation of church and state. We hear this phrase all the time. Is it in the Constitution? Where does that come from?
Well, the word separation of church and state are not in the Constitution.
Without any legal obligation to uphold a separation between church and state, evangelicals have unprecedented access to this administration, both within and behind closed doors.
Like a state dinner. That's what participants are saying about the scene at the White House tonight. But the president was not honoring foreign dignitaries. The focus was on evangelical leaders.
Thank you very much. It's my great honor to be here today with some of the leading pastors and faith leaders from across our nation. These are great people.
Donald Trump announcing the formation of a faith advisory board after meeting with evangelical leaders and conservative Christians yesterday.
I am totally convinced that if the Lord were to say something to me, if the Lord were to say something to David, or if the Lord were to say something to Bishop that the president needs to hear, I have no doubt that we could do it and do it quickly.
Yes, sir.
And have audience to say, thus saith the Lord, and he wouldn't just turn it over to an aide or something and just write it off. He would listen. And
we officially are a part of the White House Faith Initiative, and this is an effort really for us to meet together at the White House, listen to the administration share their viewpoint, and then solicit our viewpoint on a number of different issues.
With free reign, a select group of religious leaders are now in a position to not only present but advance their own personal faith-based agendas upon the American populace.
So I'm comfortable as a Catholic, even though I work for a gentleman who is not Roman Catholic, that the principles of our faith are alive and well respected in this administration and are driving many of our policies.
There are people on the right who want to impose Christian Sharia law in this country. And what I mean by that is they want to turn the Bible to the law of our land. Mike Huckabee has literally said, you cannot change the Constitution, but you can't change the Bible, but you can change the Constitution to agree with the Bible. Rick Santorum has said that our laws must comport with the Bible. There are people who want to turn America into the Christian version of Saudi Arabia, and this Supreme Court pick might just let them do that.
With your values, we are going to impose Christian values in America again, whether you like it or not.
I would cite you to the Apostle Paul and his clear and wise command in Romans 13 to obey the laws of the government, because God has ordained the government for his purposes.
As a result of this union cemented within this administration, religiously endorsed laws are now making their way through the system.
Project Blitz is the state legislative arm of a Christian nationalist effort that is afoot in this country right now. And it's trying to codify a far-right evangelical Christian agenda in this country. It's using state legislatures as its tool. So it has a playbook and messaging guidance and a series of escalating bills.
Students head back to school. The national motto, "In God We Trust," will now be prominently displayed in banners on school buildings across 6 states. New state laws mandate every public school to display the motto at the start of the school year.
Bible literacy classes for public schools are sparking controversy across the country. Secular activists warn that it would set a dangerous precedent, but President Trump has endorsed the plan, support which was rapidly criticized online.
Numerous states introducing Bible literacy classes, giving students the option of studying the Bible. Starting to make a turn back? Great.
With nothing in place to restrain the established relationship between evangelicals and this administration, President Trump has gone further than any other U.S. president in history in that he has appointed his spiritual advisor, Paula White, as an official White House representative.
Wherever I go, God rules. When I walk on White House grounds, God walks on White House grounds. When I walked in the river, God walked in the river. When I go into the dry cleaner, that dry cleaning place becomes holy. I had every right and authority to declare the White House as holy ground because I was standing there, and where I stand is holy.
Well, she's a televangelist, a prosperity preacher, and now the White House's newest aide. The role President Trump's personal pastor, Paula White, will play as she reportedly joins his administration.
This is going to be one of those where she's going to be an advisor to the president. She's going to be one of many evangelical voices that are in his ear.
This administration continues to push the proverbial envelope further and further by surpassing boundaries and even testing perceived limits to the point of endorsing Bible study and worship within the confines of the White House.
Thank you. Well, so tell us what's happening at the White House. They're having a Bible study every week?
Every week at the HHS building, cabinet members, 12 of them, which is the majority of the cabinet, is attending. These are evangelicals, Christians, Mike Pompeo, the CIA, you've got Ben Carson, Rick Perry, Tom Price. The list goes on, and you know, Mike Pence is planning to drop by. The invitation is open for the president as well. So, but he's getting the notes.
This recent cabinet meeting with Secretary of State Mike Pompeo leading in prayer. And it's not just here or for the cameras.
There are a number of men and women on the cabinet who have Bible study every Wednesday morning. But it's also sending a message that this administration bases its life experiences on that biblical values.
As we see these things, may we know that we are even at the doors. Jesus said in Luke 21, verse 12, "But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues or churches and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers or state for my name's sake." Furthermore, the Bible says in John 16, verse 2, "Yea, the time cometh that whosoever killeth you will think he doeth God service."